Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Trails to Azure. We are of course back in Crossbell, busy with our, investigation into Minnith and the Quincy Company and whether or not they are affiliated with one another. Well, for our next part we have two places we need to investigate. One is the reference material at the McDowell Estate and the other one is at the IBC to see if their financial records are legit. Other than that, of course, we have still multiple parts of Crossbell we still need to go over and talk to everyone. So, still plenty of things to do. Let's get started. Alright, so I think the McDowell Estate will be a good place to start for today. And checking out that reference material. Oh, let's see. Oh, here it is. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier. Dang, they even had this sucker bound. Can't say they didn't put any effort into the thing. They have ample resources to do so, considering the size of the company. Whatever is written inside should be sufficiently credible. Then it's a good thing we stopped by for it. Alright, let's take a closer look at it. As the leader in confectionery manufacturing, the Quincy Company strives tirelessly towards its next innovation. This brochure aims to briefly introduce the methods and creeds that drive our passion. We believe the key aspect of any confectionery is its taste, otherwise how could anyone enjoy it? With this belief as a core tenet, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of its products. Our factories are fitted with the latest equipment and operated with the utmost attention to hygiene. Here at the Quincy Company we are particularly not just about the quality of our ingredients, but where they are sourced as well. Our product development pipelines too is run with the strictest of standards. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Only then can they reach the product line. This has been a Quincy Company tradition since its founding, such that we may deliver our valuable customer nothing less than the finest confectionaries to enjoy. It is this commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the exceptional confectioner it is today. I'm not sure what we are expecting. This is all just some typical corporate double talk. Did anyone manage to find the contradiction between this and something Minnith has said? Not in particular. Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. Actually, I did notice something. You did? Oh, I get it. You just activated the old detective mode and bam, right? Well, don't leave us hanging. What did you find? Well, if I remember what Minnith told us at the hotel yesterday, the answer is obvious. It was only a passing remark, but it still comes into major conflict with what's written in this brochure. Enough to prove that he isn't in fact an employee of Quincy's company to begin with. You got that much out of this one little pamphlet? That's right. You see, if Minnith... Oh, sorry to cut you off, but where's the fun in spoiling it all now? What are you talking about? Well, if I'm being honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who's figured it out. So why not give the rest of us a chance to save it for when we interrogate Minnith? Wazzy, this is an investigation, not a game. I agree with Wazzy actually. Your hypothesis might not be accurate after all. As a precaution, we shouldn't let ourselves be swayed by a mere hunch. Not to mention, I don't appreciate you stealing the spotlight with your detective mode, as Rennie put it. Why do I get the feeling that second comment was real reason she doesn't want me to share? Fine. If you do insist instead, I want you all to consider everything we've learned so far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left is for us to visit the IBC and let's see what we can find there. Lead the way. And this, of course, one of those things we will do after, of course, we've done the areas leading to the IBC, which is, of course, the entertainment district, Orchid Tower, and, of course, the administrative district. I could also just walk straight to the IBC and then go back on ourselves for those regions, of course. I might do that. Just so we can make some progression and not spread it over 5 different episodes. We will, of course, however, do then the entirety of the IBC. Lovely morning, wouldn't you say? The weather is as pleasant as ever. And what better place to enjoy it than here at this spot. The air is fresh and crisp, and the view just can't be beat. There have been a numerous reports of unknown creatures appearing around the state. The security department isn't limiting the anti-personnel tactics, so we know a fair bit about counteracting monster attacks. But there's no reason to get complacent. We have to be ready for anything. That is true. Well, prices have been taking an interesting turn in the Republic this morning. I'd be sitting pretty had I bought that stock I was eyeing earlier. Well, hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? Nothing can be done about it now. That is very much true. Well, I heard the last remaining Calvardian terrorists from a trade conference were finally arrested yesterday. Apparently, they were caught trying to return to the Republic by rail. It turned into some huge incident. There must have been a real fight for the passengers. I doubt any of them expected to share a train with wanted fugitives. Yeah, that would have definitely been very interesting. Oh, these days Mr. Kwa is so busy that she can't always make time for lunch. That's why she often carries meal replacement bars with her while she travels. Oh, hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? Well, we'd like to ask for the IBC Corporation with an investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lanfei? We're hoping to look into something suspicious, mirror transfers from a certain depositor. You want me to pull up private information on one of our clients then? Doing so is within company policy if it's related to a criminal inquiry. But would you mind telling me the details of the situation first? Oh, not a problem. Lloyd provided all the information they had on the suspected fraud case. Ah, I see. I believe I understand the circumstances now. Will this be sufficiently probable cause for us to conduct a search? Cracking down on these kind of things is the bank's best interest too. Fraud would damage your reputation. You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me to simply telling you what I can pull up from my terminal screen here. That's more than enough, if you would please. Very well. First, let me search for an account registered on the name Minnith. American Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. There we are. We do indeed have an account opened under that name. Hold on. What happened? Did you find something incriminating? Well, I don't have the authority to tell you the exact balance on the record, but I will say that the American Honey Company has no more than a minimum deposit in its account. What exactly does it mean? Basically, corporate accounts require an initial sum of capital to open. In this case, that base amount is all there is. From what you've told me, they will leave tens of thousands of mirror unaccounted for. Minnith has construction of the factory management of the field and more to cover. It is simply impossible for a minimum deposit to be capable of financing all of it. That much is clear. And despite him holding a title to the land and signing several deals, the balance hasn't changed a single time. It's suspicious to say the very least, by which I mean this account appears to have been made for the sole purpose of gaining Derek's trust. Things clearly aren't adding up here in more ways than one. Yeah, this is the kind of evidence we need. We appreciate your cooperation, Lanfei. Oh, not at all. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Should you ever require anything more, please, don't hesitate to ask. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, we now have the material on every suspicious aspect of Minnith and his plan. Let's make our way back to the Hayworth residence. Got it. Please let us know if you're ever in need of anything else. We're always happy to assist you in whatever way we can. That's very good to hear, definitely. Alright, let's get back to the residential district. I should use the menu so much more often than I actually do. It does help with traveling within the boundary of Crossbell. Ah, it's the SSS. Ah, there you all are. Oh, Mr. Grimwood, I'm glad you could make it. Did you just get back yourself, Mr. Hayworth? Yes, I finished asking my business associate about the matter at hand. How did things go on your end? Well, we're about to round up a few leads thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayworth? Well, I did just the same, in a manner of speaking. You see, I'm not quite sure what to make of it all. Well, you went through the trouble of digging up that info, so you may as well share it with the rest of the class. Agreed. The information may be beneficial to our investigation. Well, I suppose you're right. I asked my business associate if the name Minnith rang any bells, having never heard of it myself. What they informed me is that he's been making inquiries into a certain market since arriving in Crossbell. And what market would that be? Land prices in various locations throughout Crossbell. Land prices? Oh, he sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. Why would a Quincy company employee even need that kind of information? The answer to that just might be instrumental in helping us figure out Minnith's true objective here. Ah, you think so? It is certainly something worth considering. Incidentally, I may have discovered something else of note since we last saw one another. Harold, Chief Tolda, could I ask your help to find something in my office? At your office, Ian? Well, I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it isn't substantial enough to prove anything in and of itself, but we may be able to use it as a final nail in the coffin once you've pinned Minnith down. You really got something like that on your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time, so please don't wait for us. You want to get to America Village as quickly as you can. If Minnith is the criminal we think he is, then his plan could very well be in the final stages as we speak. I am confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS. Oh, got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay guys, off to America Village. It's time to reveal Minnith's true colors and stop his phony deals dead in their tracks. Right. I'll return to the village after I help Mr. Grimwood find whatever it is he's looking for. Until then, I'll leave my son in your hands, so please, do what you can to save Derek from himself. I'll drive Ian and Chief Tolta over to America in my car once we're done. In the meantime, tread carefully everyone, don't let that Minnith get the best of you. The evidence I am searching for may serve as the final nail in Minnith's coffin once you've pinned him down. In any case, you should hurry over making your way over to America Village soon. If Minnith is the criminal we think he is, then his plan could very well be in the final stages as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS. Oh, this whole incident has Chief Tolta worried sick. But I suppose that's only natural. This involves not only his village, but his son as well. Still, too much stress can ruin your health. I'll do what I can to keep him calm. Thank you very much for doing that. Ooh, we have honey! So sweet and yummy. Yeah, so oblivious of what's going on downstairs. Alright, and I think the same applies here as with the IBC. I could talk to everyone along the way until we reach the point that we have, well, that we want to go to America Village. But considering everything we're doing right now and the amount of time it will probably take to get it all done, which will probably be 2 or 3 episodes, yeah, I think it might be better just to finish this quest off and go to America Village right now. That way we can talk to everyone in America Village, and then of course, well, basically nail Minnith to the wall.
よし、行くか。どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くぞ。よし、着いたぞ。
Oh, I hear Derek and Minnith's plan is almost ready to go. We'll just have to see what happens next. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. To be honest, I am not. I am curious though. I don't think it's gonna be right. Oh, I don't quite understand these changes Derek's been pushing for the village. Granted, it is true that having orbital tools in the field would make things a lot easier. But the simple truth is, I like field work. I'm not sure how I feel about having my job taken over by machines. I can understand and appreciate that life will be easier as the village makes improvement, but the simple truth is, I like my field work. I'm not sure how I feel about taking the effort out of it. And that's it. That's the one thing the chief wants to keep. The feeling of the original village, and not make some gigantic factory village out of all of it. Damn, did they already close the deal? Ah, U6 again. Oh, the special support section. Derek, Minnith, we have a few things we'd like to ask. What kind of agreements were you hoping to conduct today? Meddling in my affairs on my father's behalf again, are you? Oh, please, Derek, there's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plan has already been set into motion. And what do you mean by that? Right before you all arrived, Derek and I finished signing the requisite paperwork. In doing so, we have arranged to expand the operations of the Lotus Field land to me by the villagers. The Quincy Company will then take over the management of the fields. What? You signed away the rights to almost all of the village's agriculture. Is this really what you wanted, Derek? What are you talking about? Nothing is changing. I'm only transferring management of the field to him. Yes, of course. It's quite simple, really. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline production of the candy. A temporary transfer of the land's rights to my company is a necessary first step to facilitate the process. What a crafty bastard. His scheme has reached its final phase, which means... Now then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to our main office. We'll be in touch, come tomorrow, look forward to good news. Sounds great, I'll be waiting. Lloyd, we can't let him get away. Before you go, Minnith, we have a few more questions. Oh? And what might they be? Well, for starters, are you aware of the allegations leveled against you? The primary of which, of course, is suspicion of fraud. What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Minnith like that? No, Derek. Please, calm yourself. Minnith? The special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect me of being a common criminal? Surely you have some manner of proof on your claim? That we do. Intriguing. Why don't you tell me all about it then? But first, let me remind you that I am an Imperial citizen. If it turns out that your allegations are indeed entirely baseless, I will do what I must to right that indignity, police officers though you may be. That is fine with us. Lloyd, don't worry, Al, let me handle this. Based on our investigation, there's no doubt in my mind that Minnith is guilty. I'm going to expose him as the fraud he is and show Derek the truth. Oh, very glib. If that's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you like. Well, your first question? Right, about your actions in Crossbell. There's a contradiction between what you've said and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me? A contradiction? Very well. Since arriving at Crossbell, I have been cooperating with Derek to advance our plans. Said plans will result in formation of the American Honey Company, a subsidiary of Quincy Company. I will specialize in producing candy made from America's high-quality honey. Combined with my company's acumen, it is a surefire success. The venture has already been approved by the city and is just about prepared to launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that? Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key discrepancy in what you just said. You see, Minnith. His confectionery acumen, that the plan is underway, the potential profitability, which is not mentioned in this discussion. So would it be something as simple as his confectionery acumen? This plan is your brainchild, but in reality you don't know a single thing about making candy, do you? Ah, that's an interesting angle. Do you have any proof of that claim? Well... Shoot, even if he's clearly suspicious, I need to think about this more carefully. I may be able to explain. We noticed an inconsistency when you investigated the IBC. Oh, that's right. Minnith, this plan of yours hasn't made any progress at all, has it? The IBC? What are you talking about? Well, consider this. The Quincy Company truly did intend to go through with this plan in Crossbell. It would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary. Well, of course. I registered the company within the city and opened a corporate account. But that's as far as you went, isn't it? The account for the American Honey Company contained no more than the minimum balance required to open it. While we weren't told the exact amount, I would speculate it's only in the tens of thousands of Mira. Just how are you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital? You looked into my IBC account? This can't be true, can it, Minnith? Please, do not misunderstand, Eric. I never said there was any credence to their claims. I am merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive. Oh, forget that. Explain why there's hardly any mirror in that account. Being an executive of the company, I must be especially judicious when moving around money. As such, I can't take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy Company. Of course, I will be securing one from the IBC once I've received permission from the main office. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. A theft evasion. Don't count us out just yet. I can tell Minnith is getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we can get him to crack. That look on your face tells me you have something more to ask. Well, it so happens that I do. And that was far from our only point of contention about you, Minnith. You're still not satisfied? Don't let them rattle you, Derek. This will be a good opportunity for me to clear your mind of any and all doubt. Next, I'd like to ask you about you, Minnith. You say that you're an executive of the Quincy Company, but is that really true? Wait, what are you implying? Are you trying to say that Minnith isn't associated with the Quincy Company at all? Well, that's what our evidence points to. Oh, goodness me, I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card and employee ID? Those articles could easily be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. And we found it in a Quincy Company informational brochure. An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Mademoiselle's room. Oh, we recorded the main points in a detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy Company main office, so there's no doubt of its authenticity. What's more, There's a clear discrepancy between its contents and what you told us yesterday. What I told you? That's right. Something you mentioned made it clear to us that you aren't the executive you claim to be. What is the contradiction between Minnith's statement yesterday and the brochure? The creation of a subsidiary, his history in sales, his dislike of sweets. Well, his dislike of sweets would be a very clear contradictory thing, isn't it? And creation of a subsidiary is another one of those, cause they usually don't do that. Usually just import all the goods they need to their production facility to create a consistent pipeline to get the quality to where it's supposed to be. So I'm stuck between 1 and 3. The second one isn't ringing any bells, but it's been a while since I last saw it because of my slight illness I had earlier this week. So this is gonna be a little bit of a guess. But did he really say this is like sweets? Because that would definitely be very much going against the company policy. I'm just gonna guess. To hell with the points. Allow me to quote a statement you made yesterday. Despite working for the company, I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact? Huh? Lloyd? How exactly is that relevant? That's right, I don't care for sweets. I love it. Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company? Well, a confectionery company in general, maybe. But not this one in particular. What are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department? This is what was written in the brochure. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Isn't that curious? What does that... Wait. It doesn't make sense that somebody like Minnith who dislikes sweets would be hired by a company like Quincy. Not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree? That's... No, I mean, I never said I hated sweets. That's not going to work for us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? So, that raises the question, why would you lie about being an executive of the Quincy company? It is simple. You intend to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction that I can make based on the evidence. As for the confectionery seeking to make use of America's honey, the Quincy company was merely a name with weight to it, one that Minnith threw around as a show of credibility. Minnith, what's the meaning of this? You tricked me? Oh, Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels. What you just call us? I mean, think about it for a second. Let's say, for argument's sake, that I did come to America Village for the purpose of founding a fraudulent honey company. If, that being the case, I had an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good friend, Derek, then what was it? Why would I go to such ridiculous length? If you got no proof to back your claims, then you've got no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourself for slander. We do bear the burden of proof, as well as providing a viable motive. As far as motive goes, I think I have a pretty good idea. What? Are you sure, Lloyd? I've barely even started untangling everything that's going on here. Don't worry, I've got this. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of evidence we need. The last piece of the puzzle that will oust Minnith once and for all. Ah, quit your mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it. With pleasure. You went to all these lengths to deceive this village with one goal in mind. Building knockoff Orwell cars, monopolizing honey sales. No, I think it's the seizing of the land's rights. Because with building a factory here, there would be no need to seize the land, just the part where the factory is going to be built. The rest could be managed in so much different ways. Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights to America Village itself. What? A trader we know named Harold Hayworth gave us some information about you. Immediately after arriving at Crossbell, you, Minnith, started looking into land prices throughout the state. If you were employed by the Quincy Company in search of new business ventures, this would make absolutely no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Seizing land was your aim from the very start. It was? Of all the outrageous schemes. And there's more to it. America Village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making it a high-value location. Suppose the deeds were sold to a third party as a prime real estate or a villa resort. How much mirror do you think they would go for? Land like this? I would estimate somewhere in the tens of millions of mirror. That's sad. I don't think the villagers would ever agree to such an arrangement. Exactly. And that's what made this whole fraudulent ruse, painstaking as it was, a necessity. Now, if we assume your motive was to obtain the land itself, your actions become that much more clear. First, you obtain the right to the lotus fields, the farmlands and the village's private property. Then, under the next pretext, returning to your company's main office, you vanish from Crossbell entirely. Finally, you sell the deeds on the black market and pocket the hefty sum of mirror they're worth. That, Minnith, has been your plan the entire time. Minnith, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Lloyd. Is that... Oh, thank goodness. It looks like we made it in time. Dirk. Father? Mr. Hayworth? Aren't you from Mr. Grimwood's office? I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting a constitution. Oh, did you come with evidence? That we did. Ian said this would prove to be useful insurance. You're all going to want to take a look at this. Pete produced a photograph for everyone to see. It was of a man who looked like a merchant with the same face as Minnith. The man in the picture is... Why? Why did you have this? Oh, a reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name in this photo isn't Minnith, it's Ridner. Ridner? I feel we heard that name recently. Ah, I remember. It's the name of the man who stole that Erebonian baron's land. The one Mr. Grimwood told us about. Oh yeah, that dude. Oh, that's right. I asked Ian about it again, and he said there's no mistaking it. Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Minnith the honor? Tell him the only thing the photo could mean. With pleasure. The reason the man before was Minnith and the man in the photo Ridner look identical is... they're twins! That would be very cool, but a little bit overdramatic for a game like this. It's not a drama series on TV. Well, technically, isn't this the same sentence? They're the same person and Minnith is Ridner in disguise? I think they probably mean this one. But both of them are exactly correct. This one is, of course, a dummy answer. Minnith must be Ridner in disguise. That's the only explanation. You're overthinking this by a long shot. No matter how you look at it, Minnith and Ridner must be the same person. Yeah, but that's basically saying the same thing. If Minnith is Ridner in disguise, that means Minnith and Ridner are still the same person. It's just a matter of how you say it. It means exactly the same thing. And the way he's dressed with the monocle and all that kind of stuff is such an exaggeration that it has to be a disguise. Definitely. Well, I don't mind either way, but it's okay. That was not my proudest deduction. I knew that. And it's because of the same person that the MOs are such a close match. Mr. Greenwood came to the same conclusion. This man must have swindled down to an exact orbital science. You're a crook, Minnith. As such, you'll be charged with attempted fraud. This is, of course, on top of the fraud you previously committed in Erebonia. I can only guess how many skeletons we'll find in your closet when we get done with you. I would very much like to hear all of the details. In that department's interrogation room. You. Damn you. I am a professional. My work must be flawless. You meddlesome brats. Minnith. Don't get too full of yourself just yet. You may have won this time, but you won't. I won't be apprehended so easily. What? Come, my lovely beasts. What? Monsters? They appear to be well trained too. These cougars, don't freaking tell me. No. Derek. Chief Tolta, it's too dangerous. Do you have any idea what you're doing? I know precisely what I'm doing, hence why I'm doing it. Oh, and don't think for even a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. Now, step aside if you would. Fare thee well, for we shall never meet again. Derek. Damn it, we can't let him escape. After him. Yeah, use our car. No! He managed to get away. Oh, I've never been so frustrated. I can't believe a spineless coward like him gave us the slip. At least none of the villagers were hurt. Let's look at the silver lining. What a mess. If we come across him again, he won't be so lucky. For now though, let's regroup with Chief Tolta and the villagers so we can report what happened. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. It is no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that con man. Though he still got away in the end. Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It only should be a matter of time before he's caught. Derek? Well, I made a grave mistake and I put everyone through so much trouble just so they could fix it. I let that man rope me into his scheme and it nearly cost us all our livelihoods. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the one who's guilty. Wrong. It is my fault completely, no two ways about it. I was so desperate to fix and reform America that I ignored my father and almost drove it into the ground instead. I have no right to become the next village chief. That's where you're wrong. Father? I've been so stuck on the old ways that I've never tried to hear your proposal for what they were. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It is my inaction that drove you to this. Thus, I must bear a large share of the responsibility for letting it happen. That's very admirable, Chief Tolta. Thanks to this crisis, I finally realized where I went wrong. The welfare of this village cannot hinge entirely on the ideology of a single, stubborn old man. So instead, Derek, I would ask that you provide me your input as well. We will each contribute our ideas and discuss them with the villagers. That's the only way we can ensure the future for America. You're right. I am so sorry, Father. From here on out, I'm going to dedicate myself to the betterment of the village. Oh, I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile. Same. Makes almost losing your whole village to the crook worth it, wouldn't you say? Oh, put a sock in it, was he? Learn how to read the room. I'm really sorry about him, I swear. We've tried everything. Well, at any rate, we owe you all an enormous debt, so allow me to express my thanks once more. I also owe my gratitude to Mr. Grimwood. It is a shame you couldn't be here. I'll pass your thanks to Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened. Even if I played a minor role, I am glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to our continued partnership, Chief Tolta. Same to you, Harold. Well, if you could, keep a lookout for Minnith just in case he returns. And of course, you can always contact the SSS if you ever need our assistance. Well, hopefully, it'll never be for anything related to this ordeal again. We'll be sure to keep you in mind. One born every minute. Yeah, I'm still not in agreement with the last question. I know why the game picked it. I can agree on that. But I still think both answers were technically correct. But that's me. Oh, I was wrong to try and solve all the village's problem by myself. This whole mess has shown me just how flawed my judgment has been until now. From here on, I need to work with my father. No, the whole village, to create a brighter future. Protecting the future of America Village. My son and I have been too close-minded towards each other's views to see that we share the same goal. This ordeal must have been the goddess way of teaching us that. Yeah, always great to see a silver lining in every hard situation. Oh, Mr. Greenwood has had his hand full with drafting a constitution, so he couldn't make it today. Luckily, it looks like everything worked out in the end. I'll pass Chief Tolta's thanks on to Mr. Greenwood and let him know what happened. Thank you very much for your help, everyone. It's because of all of you that Derek and Chief Tolta were finally able to make up. I knew turning to the SSS was the right call to make. Oh, it definitely was. Despite letting Minnith go. Oh, Derek and his father have finally reconciled. I couldn't be more relieved. Thank you all so much for your help. You're welcome. Anything that is beneficial to the village. Turns out that Minnith fella was a scoundrel. Even I got up to the garden path by his fake smile and courteous ways. Derek got it the worst of any of us though. I hope the boy's not being too hard on himself. You gotta be one Weasley little bastard to hoodwink someone who cares about our village as much as Derek. The next time I see that Minnith, oh, I'm really gonna let him have it. Just because of things like this, is why he shouldn't return to this village. It's a life hazard. Oh, I can't believe Minnith released the monsters in the middle of the village. Thank the gods none of the children were hurt. Yeah, I think that's the reason why we didn't act. Because we could clearly take the monsters and Minnith at the same time, but what if one of the villagers would have get caught in a crossfire? It would have been disastrous. Not just for the village, but also for our reputation. Holy cow, did you see those cat things jump out of the van? It was so cool. Was that guy an animal trainer for a circus or something? Ah, oh, dang it, I should have tried to get his autograph. Oh, those kitties were so big. Too bad they weren't cute. Oh, I knew that guy with the monocle was up to no good. I still can't believe he let all those monsters out though. I thought it was going to be eaten for sure. Yeah, it's always the monocle. If you ever come across someone with a monocle, do not trust them until you have evidence. Well, when I glanced out the window, there were monsters out in the middle of the village. Stranger still, Minnith looked to be the one controlling them. I was so shocked, my back gave out on me. Ouch, ouch, oh, oh, it still hurts. Minnith was the one controlling the monsters, wasn't he? I was so shocked about it, my back gave out on me. Oh, ouch, it still hurts. Graham threw out his back earlier. I hope he'll be alright. Maybe I should bring him a compress or something for that. Yeah, still very considerate of you, Jake. Very. This one is still good. Oh, I can't believe that Minnith was a... Oh, what a despicable man. You asked me, that was something out of for the guy from the get-go. If he ever showed his face around here again, I'm going to clobber him for sure. I knew something was off from the Minnith guy from the get-go. Everything Minnith said was a lie? That's upsetting. I can't even imagine what Derek must be feeling right now. Yeah, but Derek will be alright. He has his family and the entire village behind him. Well, Minnith made swift work of winning over the village. I'll say one thing, he's got a keen eye for understanding what people really want. But in the end, he chose to use his talents for evil. A man like that is beyond help. Definitely. Unbelievable. Minnith was a crook all along and I never put it together. The man is a master con artist, through and through, and a low-down wretch at that. He's on the wanted list right now, so here's hoping to have him behind bars before long. I hope that too, with every fiber of my being. Oh, thank Ideal Stefan and the other children weren't attacked by those monsters. What that crook did was unforgivable. Yeah, cause why didn't he think about the children? But let's be honest, he was a villain, a criminal. Of course he wouldn't think about other people while he was busy conducting his villainous ways. Oh, it turns out Minnith deceived us all. I never would have thought that someone so callous existed in all of the world. Lesson learned. Ah, well, I'll be tarred and feathered. Minnith was a swindler all along. Say, about this overall truck I bought from him, what are you doing with it now? Well, if I remember right, you bought it for 50,000 mira, while the market value is closer to 500,000. Well, that is a bit of a problem. For the time being, it would probably be best if you turn it over to the police. Since it was sold and purchased through a legitimate transaction, it will probably be given back to you in the end. True, though whether the truck is legal in the first place will need to be investigated as well. Alright, I'll go ahead and contact the police then. And that's how you should react with news like this, cause he could have been upset by the fact that he might lose his truck, but the law is the law, and he holds himself accountable to it. That's very good. But this is it for today. We finished off the entire quest, talked to everyone in America at the same time, so we know where they all stand in regard to this investigation. So next time we're gonna go back to Crossbell and continue where we were, and that is the entertainment district, and then we'll go around everywhere else where we still need to be and see what they have to say, where they are, what they need to talk to. And of course, in the end, we still have also one more side quest to do, but I will probably save that for all the way at the end, like a dessert, because it is of course going to Michelin to do a quest there that Theo was very, very passionate about. So for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are, and if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we continue again with our rounds of Crossbell. See you then. Bye bye.